Happy solar eclipse. This solar eclipse in Leo is giving us all the chance, the moment to redefine how we show up authentically, how we have the courage to be seen, shine, and what we do with being seen. How do you handle attention? How well or unwell? How well do you handle being seen? And I want to go through some aspects of this solar eclipse as well. The first one is the South Node conjunction. South Node is now in Leo. So there's a South Node conjunction to the solar eclipse, meaning we are moving away from the egoic nature, pride, shedding pride, releasing the inflated egoic nature of ourselves, or ways and any performative acts for validation, calling for us to move away from that and move further into authenticity and how we authentically express ourselves, authentically show up in community and in everyday life. We also have Saturn trine the solar eclipse, with Saturn being in Aries. And this is a call for maturity and taking accountability as a leader, if you are a leader in a leadership position, or if you are not in a leadership position and you are in a position of being underneath the leader. This is a time for calling out any discrepancies amongst the leaders, and especially with you know presidents and your boss, or whoever it may be. This is a time for humanity to really call out the leaders for, the heinous acts that they've done, especially towards children, um, especially in the government. This is Saturn, so it's the government. So you'll see, we're seeing more people be brave and bold and speaking their heart on what's going on in this country, especially, and in general, um, and especially dealing with the heinous acts towards children. The Fauci trials is very indicative of the times that we're in right now, and people either having the courage to speak on that or not. Maybe it doesn't necessarily have to be like directly to him, right? Because he's just the face, like he's just what they're choosing to show us. But there's so many different leaders, especially in healthcare, for example, that have misled so many people, under the guise of healing. With us coming out of North Node and Pisces, I feel like there was a lot of people moving towards healing, but there's also like a veil over it as well, over the lens of healing, and also an exaggeration of how these modalities were going about actually healing people when they may not have been. It may have been like a huge fad the whole time, especially in healthcare. Major themes of this solar eclipse and the aspects being made. One of them I want to speak on is authority transfer. And more than likely, this is looking like a big boss stepping down from a company and that position being transferred to someone younger. And or it could look like just people starting to step down in government. What I thought of to an extreme was Congress, like, um, or the Senate, like, like Congress members stepping down or losing titles, things like that. Oh, you guys. Okay. Another theme here is creativity being centered, um, authentic expression coming through our creative projects, also just through communication as well. Play and heart centered acts being incentivized at this time, and really honing in on your solar and sacral. A lot of yellow, a lot of orange colors being prominent at this time. Things like that. Maybe catching your eye, or maybe things that you're even intentionally wearing on purpose. Mercury sextile Venus. And then this is happening through August 12th to the 14th. I call this time living life of luxury. So it's a good time to partake in leisure, alchemizing this energy with some reading, maybe going to an art exhibit, maybe fancying a concert with a friend of yours, or simply catching up with a friend as well. Allowing yourself to relax and play throughout these days, as we have more intense transits later on in the month, and pretty soon too as well. So like pretty much like next week. So be prepared for that. Um, Surrounding yourself with beauty will bring you much joy at this time. Maybe you'll also use this time to take a short trip as well, with it being Mercury there, Mercury sextile Venus. So taking a short trip that brings you joy. I'm thinking of, Venusian things, but that also take time to actually travel to as well, short distance travels. Take those days and take this time to really be in your full expression authentically. If that looks like you enjoying and indulging in, a charcuterie board with your friends, and or by yourself, just making sure that you spruce up your life and live your life to the fullest, because we are going through some crazy, hazy times. We're going through some really
This is me trying to find the word, but I mean conflicting, not confusing.
confusing times at this time of where we're headed in humanity. And I think it's important to be present. We have our reflections in lives, our friends in life, that remind us it's so important to be present, because if you're someone like me that may think about the next day and the next day and the next day a lot of the times, and that's pulling you out of your present moment, it's hard to show up for yourself and for your friends and for your family and your loved ones, and in a way that is authentic. It's more cramped. Your style is cramped. You're, having anxiety about the next thing you may do, or also being seen. These are things that are very thematic for me, that I'm confronting as well. I've been confronting um, my anxiety with social interactions, and how come every time I have a social interaction, I have to actually prepare myself versus just being present there. And it's like there's more work to do around, my confidence, and around sharing space, and around trusting others to really want to be around me. So also allow this time to help you see how you can take more self-care into your own matters, especially if you're Cancer rising. Mars just went into Cancer, so this time is very invigorating in our first house, in the body, in the projection of our thoughts and our emotions and things as such. What are you projecting? Are you projecting insecurity? Are you projecting security? What are you attracting to yourself based upon your thoughts and feelings? So yeah, that's all I have for you guys for the moment. Make sure that you subscribe, like, and follow this channel, and also make sure you subscribe to Substack. Subscribe to my Substack. It's the same name, Alchemy with Asia, and you will be able to find more updates there. My articles are there, my poetry is there, my podcast is there, and you can also find me on Spotify as well. If you want to just listen and you don't really, have the time to watch a video. All of that is on Spotify, Alchemy with Asia podcast. Stay tuned.